Look in verse 13. Submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every human institution. Now, to governments, for example. And children are to submit in the home. Wives are to submit in the home. We're to submit in the church to those whom God has placed in authority over us. Spiritually, to the government. Authority in this day is highly in question. For example, speaking to 2 or 3 school teachers, here's what they said this past week. It is so much more difficult to teach school today than it was 30 years ago. And the problem is not that children cannot learn. They can learn just as fast and oftentimes faster. The problem isn't in the learning ability of the children. It is in the lack of discipline, their lack of respect for authority. And so we have a generation of children today who say, I don't have to obey you. And we have a generation of parents who are worse, who say to the principal and the teachers, that's right, my kid doesn't have to obey. So we have a society that is reaping the rewards of a humanistic approach to life that says there is no God, man is sufficient within himself, therefore we have the right to rebel against what we don't like, and we have the right to gratify all of our desires, all of our fleshly desires, and it's nobody's business how we live but ourselves. And I'm here to tell you, society is getting unfit to live in. And it is the result of rebellion. And when you have rebellious parents, listen, when rebellious parents rebel against God, what do? But they grow up children who are rebellious against them. And since they don't want to assume responsibility for the rebellious children, they send them off to school, whether public schools or private schools, and they rebel in the schools. And listen, since mom and dad not in the habit of submitting to authority, their children are not used to submitting to authority, and when somebody wants to discipline them in some fashion, don't mess with my kids. As if they're protecting the children. What they're doing to the children is not protecting them, but destroying them. What they're saying by their example, their lack of authority, they're saying there is no authority, son and daughter. Do what you please in society, and if somebody doesn't like it, oh, mom and dad are going to protect you. And friend, whether we like it or not, that's the society we've got. The school, listen, probably the folks in this country need to be prayed for as much as anybody in the world are school teachers. Imagine walking into a room of 60 rebels on Monday morning who know that authority is in great question and they don't have to do anything they don't want to do. Now, thank God for godly, strong principals and teachers who don't put up with it. Where did it all come from? Has it always been that way? Nope. When they close this book, no Jesus and no Bible, what you have is the natural outflow of no authority. You have rebellion and anarchy.